Now to a daughter left behind searching for answers. Madeline's parents carried out the worst police shooting in Queensland's history. She's struggling with their deaths and with what they did, revisiting the place she once called home.
To Madeline Train's parents, this was home. To the rest of Australia, it's the scene of Queensland's worst police shooting.
Do you still love your parents?
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you? I love the people they were, not who they became.
They became cold-blooded killers who gunned down police constables Rachel McCrow and Matthew Arnold and neighbour Alan Dare, who was just trying to help.
It felt like I couldn't cry because there's not a lot of sympathy from anyone that shot police officers.
3.5 hours west of Brisbane, in an area few had heard of, the Train family home in Weambilla is eerily quiet.
What's with the mirrors in the driveway? Do you know?
The mirrors are to reflect cameras or cars that aren't supposed to be there.
It's clear the Trains never wanted company. Last time anyone was here, it was chaos. Now there's just an awful silence.
How does it feel standing here right now after everything that's happened?
Quiet. How does it feel for you?
Eerie.
The no trespassing sign has been removed from the front gate, taken as evidence, and there's still traces where the charred police vehicle once sat. Signs too where the Train's CCTV cameras were bolted to trees.
In the times that you did come out here, what was it like? Just a normal house?
Yeah, it's still just a normal house. It's just people died in it.
Madeline is the oldest of 2 children to Stacey and Nathaniel Train. The couple split when she was 2. By the time Madeline was 6, Stacey married Gareth, Nathaniel's older brother, who she calls Gary.
What was that like, growing up in that family?
So Gary was the stay-at-home dad. Gary raised me and Aiden while Mum had a career.
The family photo album paints a picture of a happy childhood, celebrating birthdays and playing games.
What was Stacey like?
Sorry. Mum worked very hard her whole life to protect children, and she spent her whole career, which spanned over 20 years, as a teacher.
So how did a routine police check end like this? Gary and Stacey had been living on the remote block for years. Stacey worked at the local school until the vaccine mandate saw her resign.
And then they pulled out from society, really?
They sort of gave up. Society gave up on them, so they did the same.
Nathaniel had also been working as a teacher and principal until a heart attack in 2020. He separated from his wife Vanessa in 2021 and all but disappeared, forcing her to report him missing to New South Wales Police in December.
I figured he had stayed on someone's station or block that he knew, and he was camping quietly, and he got to spend time in nature with himself and God.
Madeline says she had no clue he was with Stacey and Gary. Madeline used to spend her 4 weeks of annual leave every year coming out here to the property, but that stopped in 2020 thanks to COVID. She hadn't heard from her family until the night of the shooting.
To me, that indicated they were scared and they didn't know what was happening.
4 police officers went to the property as part of Nathaniel's missing persons case. It should have been routine, but the peace was shattered.
And Gary knew they were going to die because he wouldn't have sent that message if he didn't think they were going to die.
By the time Gary messaged Madeline, Constables McCrow and Arnold were dead, while Constables Killiebruff and Randall Kirk were forced to flee under a shower of bullets. Their only crime, they wore blue.
So I think it's fair to say they didn't like the police.
No, that's not fair to say. I think they had a lot of respect for the police. They didn't respect the police officers that jumped over the fence.
People don't have a right to shoot someone that walks onto their property.
Lots of farmers would argue differently.
The shots fired, further shots fired.
By the time the 5-hour siege ended, Stacey, Gary and Nathaniel were dead.
Guys on the sea, still discharging round. Number 1 and female are down. No movement from number 2. No movement from number 2.
As the next day dawned, it became clear to Madeline what her family had done. These photos show the bullet holes throughout the home, signs of the intensity of the firefight.
I grieved 6 people, and the first people I grieved weren't my family. They were the police officers and the Alan Dare.
Madeline hoped Gary's hand-scribbled notes would provide an explanation to all this madness and how they became killers.
I don't want the money. I don't want the estate. I want the answers. The same as everyone else wants the answers. So...
Do you think you'll ever get the
No,
answers?
no one will ever get the answers because the people that had the answers were shot in the head.
A home now haunted by so many memories, but Madeline says it's the place Stacey and Gary loved and where they loved each other.
But they had a very short life that ended very tragically, and they ended a lot of other lives quite tragically, which is very difficult to reconcile when you believe in heaven and hell and judgment.
How do you move forward without knowing why and without answers?
Slowly, unpacking your trauma one box at a time until you figure it out for yourself, or you decide that you have enough answers to live peacefully.
Are you there yet?
Yeah, I have a lot of trust in God, and that I'm on this planet to do more than just be the daughter of someone that shot police officers.